happy to share with you all. Yesterday, we had an opportunity to pay our respects on the occasion of Guru Purnima. I believe most of you were there, either physically or virtually. However, the occasion didn't give an opportunity to interact as I would usually do in a satsang. But why I bring this up is because many came up to me and told me the topic was so pertinent, the topic was so relevant, and it struck a chord with them as how important it is to instill the spirit of forgiveness. So if there is something that some of you who want to clarify or deliberate on something, it would be indeed a great pleasure to clarify them. I'm sure it is quite fresh in your minds. So don't erase it. Huh? So keep it fresh. So Harish, you were there yesterday, weren't you?
Guruji. Yes, I was there yesterday.
Good. You were able to connect?
Yes, Guruji, I was.
Good.
Guruji, since you have opened the platform for a few questions, may I ask a question on that yesterday, please? On forgiveness?
Yeah. By all means,
Guruji, when we experience friction of the world, where we are learning now through these Vedic texts to learn to forgive for various reasons, for our own benefit, can we also see it as it happened to us, the experience, because we deserved it and it was a karmic account that we had to experience based on our karma, hence we deserved it. So we experienced that situation, which now leads us to another journey to learn how to forgive. Can I see it? Can we see it that way?
You know, Harish, I wish you spoke to me before the talk, because this element never struck me and I would have incorporated in the talk. So I can't forgive you for that. I wish you spoke to me earlier. Nowadays, you don't talk to me at all. You know? And how can I forgive you for that? You tell me. It hurts.
Sometimes
it hurts very bad. It hurts very bad. Seriously, it really hurts very bad. You don't understand what you do to others. However, actually, you are spot on, Harish, when you say that. One way of rationalizing, one way of processing it so that you put your best foot forward, or you give the best response when the world is crude to you. The world is crude to you, or you are a victim, or one becomes a victim to others' actions, not without a reason. And as you rightly surrender to the law of causation, one of the laws of causation says you get what you deserve. So if you have had people many a time come and tell me that they've lost some valuable their valuable wealth. They've lost wealth because of some fraud some credit card fraud or online fraud, you hear here and there. Now, when you lose your hard-earned savings or your money, why have you lost it? Do you mean to say the whole world has nothing else to do to take revenge against you? You're being singled out?
No.
There has to be a larger purpose, a reason for that. So the law of nature is only helping settle your accounts, and at every stage your accounts are very clear. Nothing is left pending. It's not that I do something today and next Janma you will have to face the consequences. Like I cut my finger. It's not that after 10 days it starts bleeding. It immediately starts bleeding. It is immediate karmic effect. So the karmic effect in one's life, if we are able to approach it from that thought, it also helps you to calm down and gracefully accept it. There is a reason, I know not why. So there is no reason for me to personalize that act when I have become a victim, where I am a victim. I don't have to personalize it. So nor should I engender any hatred or a vengeance or an animosity, which is exactly the opposite of forgiveness. So there is no need to do that. So if you say, I get what I deserve, there's no question of forgiving another also. You must say, thanks to you for settling my karmic effect very soon. In fact, you thank him. In fact, if somebody were to give you a tight slap, Mahatma Gandhi said, show other cheek. I would say, fall at his feet. Shashtanga Namaskar, you do to him. Sir, thank you for settling my accounts. Otherwise, it's been pending, no? I don't know what all is pending. Prostrate to him. Thank you very much, sir. You have settled my accounts. I have lost some money. Thanks to you for settling my accounts. Whatever happens, that gives you a great comfort. So it's a very, very valid argument, I would say. Otherwise, you complain, na? Why me?
Yes.
What have I done to deserve this? Man, you have done something to deserve it. Simply accept it. What are you questioning the law of nature? It's in fact, it's arrogance to question the law of nature. You just gulp it down. It's like a bitter pill. You have to, one has to look at life from that way. In fact, when you say that, I don't know how else can one look at life other than this. Don't you agree?
Yes.
How else? You all agree with me? Can I have a show of hands? How else can you look at life other than looking at it from the perspective of the law of causation, of cause and effect? There's nothing else. In fact, only thing that governs life, in fact, the king of all laws, it's the supreme law, as they say, it's the law of causation. That governs the law, the life. So directly connected to the topic, and your thought is apt, Harish, very apt.
And Guruji, also when you mentioned example just now of financial fraud or financial losses, and sometimes when we make when we make choices unknown at that time, logically, example, they turn out to be bad investments or bad choices, and it takes many years sometimes to recuperate those losses. But I would like to assume that at some point it will end. It's not going to be indefinite. Even the recovery process will not be indefinite. I would like to believe it will end at some point of those example, like you say in a financial situation, as an example, that at some point it will end, I would assume. It cannot go on so indefinitely where we don't even know when the end point is for recovery.
I believe so. Because it's only, if I'm responsible for your financial loss, Harish, I will have financial loss. The law works at each level. Are you able to relate to that idea that the law of karma works at each level, which means material, physical, emotional, intellectual, spiritual. These are the various levels the law works. If I bring about your material transformation, I get material benefit. If I do physical help, when I'm in need of physical help will come. When I do emotional help, I will get all the love and affection because I'm rendering, uplifting others emotionally. If I give you intellectual knowledge, yesterday, a lady came up to me and gave me 4 books, each as big as an Oxford dictionary. And it was some classic works, which I said, oh my God, it's a lifetime study. So somebody comes and gives you so much knowledge. If I help you spiritually evolve, I spiritually evolve. So the law works at all levels. So when a particular karmic effect is coming, you must be mindful, what are my actions? What are the seeds I'm sowing? I'm just taking the example, nothing personal here, Harish.
Yes.
Just the example you said of a financial continuous challenges. And
yes,
if a person is subjected to that, it's a time that person has to look back and say, what are my work ethics in my business? How selfish am I? Where am I going wrong? Because it is just an effect. Nothing comes without a seed. So what is the seed of that action? Restricting to do business particularly. How am I treating my customers? Am I abusing them? Am I abusing their faith? Am I extracting? Am I trying to gain more than what I serve them? A life or an attitude of a giver is to give far more than what he can take in any transaction. It's not that you are a giver and dishing out something, but in any transaction of life, if you give far more than what you can take, then you are a giver. Because it's impossible to live without taking, isn't it?
yes.
It's impossible to live without taking. But at any point, is the quotient of giving far more than taking. So in business, apply that principle. Obviously, you're there to make money for yourself and your organization, not just to pocket it to yourself. But what are the work ethics? It's a direct cause of that. Because in the same scenario, the time of this uncertainty of how the business has happened the last few years, some people have thrived in that same challenging scenario. So how does it work? So to some it's a curse, to some it's a blessing. How is that possible? It's your own making. So it's time to go back to the drawing boards and question the work ethics of your business. I'm just being very objective when I say that, because a direct cause and effect.
Would you have a last question, if I
For the day or for the month?
for the day?
Are you sure?
Sure. I mean, not sure, but like
that's what
on
I
this
knew
topic. On this topic.
So now I see some clarity. Please go ahead.
Guruji, when we going back to forgiveness, which I totally understand now much more clearly. When somebody inflicted, harm on us of any sort, of whatever sort, now our process is to learn to forgive for our growth. And if we see it as a karmic account that's been settled, the person who inflicted harm on us, because of a karmic score being settled for us, does the person, the predator, is he free from that because the karma settled, or he incurs a new karma going forward for himself, the predator?
No, we have answered the question till now from the perspective of the prey. Now we will
Yes.
answer the question with reference to the predator. Am I right,
Yes.
sir?
Yes,
For a,
Guruji.
suddenly, I'm thinking we are discussing our Animal Planet or a very familiar platform. You know, all the time at home, I keep getting these comments. Vaishnavi also has started the slogan in the house that I think, Daddy, you by mistake you're born as a human being. You know, you should have been born as an animal, because all the time I get a chance to watch television. Either I'm watching a particular sport or I am watching this National Geographic or this Animal Planet, and I just get awed by how this kingdom is, animal kingdom. It's just fascinating. You know? So for a moment, I'm thinking like an animal. So please forgive me if there is any less clarity in what I say. So from the perspective of the predator, if the predator means if the person who commits an act, I'm being very conscious when I choose my words. When a person commits an act and you end up being a victim, when I say commit an act, it is not necessarily a conscious or an intentional act. Let's say I do something unintentionally and it has caused some damage to you. Now the damage you are experiencing is like I take your car. Okay. I park the car outside my house. I say, sir, Harish, I know you have an MPV. I have an occasion where we need to travel. I need a bigger vehicle. Guruji, please, what are you asking? Please have it as long as you need, and I can manage with the other car. So you spare your car over the weekend to me. I park it outside my home because there's no space for me. And next morning I go, somebody has hit into the car and gone away. So there is a damage to the car. Now, I instantly bring it to attention. And you say, Guruji, don't worry. And in fact, there are a few other bumps and knocks here and there, and I will get it done one shot. In fact, I've been waiting for a time to get it done. I'll get one shot, but it will cost you, let's say, 5,000 ringgit or 10,000 Hong Kong dollars. Whatever, I'm just giving arbitrary. It costs that much to get the job done. So as far as you're concerned, there is a financial pinch for you. Now, have I committed that act intentionally? No. Have I parked the car recklessly somewhere, unmindful, it's unmindful of my act? Then I'll be responsible. I did not commit an act irresponsibly. It just happened. So when I do that act, I will not incur any karma because there's no intention to do so. So when you commit an act, sorry, as there's no intention backing it, there's no karmic effect. But when the same act is perpetrated, now the choice of words is commit and perpetrate. When you perpetrate an act, means there is a evil motive. Am I right to say, Ramji, the word perpetrate, doesn't it connote a negative element to it?
Yes, Guruji. Perpetrate is deliberate.
Deliberate. So a negative?
Negative, yeah.
Negative,
yeah.
So yes. So if one perpetrates the same act, if I had done intentionally, you are settling your accounts because you deserve it, and I am creating a seed and being subjected to the future karmic cycle as far as I'm concerned. So this is how you rationalize the predator-prey relationship in the karmic cycle. Gayatri Ma, please, we are clarifying the predator-prey relationship. Tinky Ma, please capture this terminology. Again, copyright Ramji. Huh? Predator-prey relationship in the karmic cycle. These are the words I would like to see in the takeaways. And next to it, you please put it copyright Vinayji. And that will be edited by me later on anyway. At least I would like it to see copyright is there. Does that clarify, Harish?
Yes, perfectly, Guruji. Crystal clear.
Perfect.
Thank you, Guruji.
Most welcome, sir. Yeah. Now you are still free to ask, if at all, any questions on this topic also, on other topics also, Harish. I mean, for the day only, you know. Next class, we'll take fresh rules. Ramji, Chepan sir.
Guruji, I mean, there's a principle I try to observe in my life, but yesterday I felt that there are 4 types of actions. One is what we do to others. Within that, there are 2 types. One, good things we do to others, and bad things we do to others, either intentionally or unintentionally. And there are, from others to us, there are good things that happen, and there are bad things that happen, again, with intention or unintentional. So I always feel that we must remember what others suffered because of us. That means the bad things which happened because of us, and what good things happened to us from others. And forget the other 2, which are the good things we did to others and the bad things others did to us. So that keeps your slate much less conflicted, and you retain good thoughts which form a basis of forgiveness. This is what I mean, I generally try to follow in my life, and because many people keep an account of what good they did to others, and then they keep saying that I have done A, B, C, D for him, and in return he has done only A, and so he still owes me 3 good deeds. You know, that kind of account keeping I never do, and I think that kind of account keeping of good and bad things is something which leads to accumulation of negative thoughts and negative things in mind, and that actually restricts you from forgiving others.
No, you're very beautifully captured. But can you come back to that? From the 4, you said that there's something that you follow. I wanted to
Out of the
revisit that.
4, out of the 4, I forget what good things I did to others.
You forget what good you have done, okay?
And I forget what bad others have done to me. Okay, while I remember what good things others have done for me and what bad things I have done for others, deliberately or intentionally or unintentionally, because of me somebody has suffered. So that is something I remember, so that I try to make up for it. And what good thing somebody has done for me is also something gratitude, which so gratitude comes out of that, and then try to remember and try to whatever way pay it back if possible. Otherwise, just remain grateful for what somebody has done for you. So that is what I try to remember, and I try to forget what good things I did for others and what bad things others did for me.
So a lot to learn, sir. I mean, myself,
just conceptualizing what you told yesterday. I'm just saying that there's a principle I have always tried to follow. Not very successful always, but yes, I try to follow.
Ashram is telling me a message that this is we all should follow what Ramji is doing. Nobody said anything to me, sir. Even on Guru Purnima, nobody said anything to me. And Ashram is sending this message. All should follow Ramji. Ramji, and she also saying, Ramji, when are you starting classes?
No, sir, no. I'm only...
Ashama, did you not say that?
I didn't mean that, Guruji. I'm sorry.
Oh, See, this is all, when something is less in a curry, you add masala, no? Yes, Ashama. No, very, very apt, Ramji, very apt and down to earth. I think people can relate to what you said very easily, but it takes a lot.
Practical way of.
Very true. What to do, sir? Sometimes we become very impractical, we just keep talking. So you bring us back to practicality.
Guruji,
Hama.
from a woman's point of view, I'm talking of relationships, especially between daughter-in-law and mother-in-law, or a sister-in-law and a bhabi, or a mother-in-law to a daughter-in-law. There are bound to be certain, dialogue. So how does one deal with that?
I know you followed the satsang or the session yesterday very closely. I'm not branding anybody here as good or bad or divine or demonical, but just for the discussion. Go back to the example of that man who had a wolf as a pet. And put the daughter-in-law in the picture of the wolf.
You mean
Because
the inherent nature in that person?
Let's say, I'm not saying all daughter-in-laws are like wolves, but let's say if there is a lack of, or the mother-in-law is the real wolf, I don't know who it is, because you're saying of a certain nature, let's say a person has that nature. In fact, I've heard people saying, oh, that lady has got such a bitter tongue. And that lady is known all over because she has got a bitter tongue. And it comes as a shock to you when you hear, oh my God, is this what that lady is? Because your impression or what you know of that person is not that. Example, I'm just taking, So when somebody has a reputation of having a bitter tongue, don't you have to be that much more careful and mindful that you don't trigger that reaction from that person? Because it doesn't take long for someone to stoop to that level to speak certain unparliamentary words, or to speak in a tone, or to start a debate, or get into an argument, or unnecessarily create a difference. You have to be careful. It's like exactly saying, I know the innate nature of that wolf. It is very, very wild by nature. That is its nature. So if a lady has got a very bitter tongue, you've got to be very careful. That's what a lady is. And she is very quick to whip you. Why do I need to get whipped intellectually or emotionally? You be very careful. So keep a safe distance. You don't go and put your hand in the den of a tiger and say, I just did it because so beautiful it looked, I just want to touch it. And it will only obviously hurt you. You will be a victim. So unless until you know how to deal with it, you will not become a victim. The moment you are a victim, it means you have not understood their nature and you expect something other than what their nature is. So if you know very well what is the nature of my son, you should know. Don't be emotional here. Be very objective and put 3 pictures or 4 pictures of people of your family. Everybody should do that. The first thing we should do is put the pictures of your family, not a family picture, individual pictures you put it, and then start writing their nature. What is their exact nature? Assess. Your intellect should say, this is what is my daughter. These are the good and bad in her. This is the good and bad in my son. This is the good and bad in my son-in-law. This is good and bad in my parents, my relatives, my friends, my guru, my this and that. And these are the people you relating day in and day out. And once you frame them, after writing that quality, frame it. Perhaps give a possibility to edit here and there, but frame it. I mean, this is their personality. Until they have changed for the better or the worse, reevaluate it as you go on. Then what happens is you exactly adapt to what each one is, not what you want. It's like you adapt to the changing weather so that you enjoy the weather. You don't complain if the weather is hot or cold or dry, whatever it may be. And I think this is where we got to be little extra mindful. And that little adjustments one makes, I tell you, one would not complain why someone is the way he or she is. You would not complain. How does it matter if she's a daughter-in-law or a daughter? How does it matter? They are two individual human beings. You have nothing to do with them. They are settling their accounts of their karmas and vasanas. Would you take all the bad karmas of your child and all the good karmas of your daughter-in-law? I'm not being particular personal here. I'm just taking an example, please. Huh?
Yeah.
Would you bargain all the bad karmas of your child? I would say, end of the day, would say, how am I responsible? I've done my dharma. If that child going through certain thing, I only feel sorry for her with love.
True.
Or you'd be happy for her if it's going well. But you say, you settle your accounts. You must learn to be objective and separate yourself. Don't unnecessarily emotionally bind. But as you separate, you must also be very clear and sound in your assessment and relate with them well.
Yes.
That's what we concluded yesterday as the true forgiveness tantamounts to understanding all is forgiving all.
Talking of framing, there was this phrase, even if you frame the truth in a frame of gold, the mirror never lies. Truth or false?
That's too subtle for me to understand. What do you mean by that?
And the mirror never lies. Whatever is like, it reflects back the true picture, whether it is the truth or the false, even if it is gilded in golden frame.
I'm not
no, it's okay.
being no, I'm not able to get the deeper meaning. It's a beautiful saying. Can anybody help what exactly that means? Tinkima,
I'll send you the exact words.
please do. That would be lovely to add into my little collection of quotes.
Urdu couplet. I can't recall it.
I can, no problem. Yeah, when you translate it, it may lose its original charm. Yeah. Please, thank you, ma. Thank you, ma.
Guruji, I mean, what I have understood is that the truth, whether stated plainly or couched in with beautiful adjectives, the truth is the truth. So whether the mirror is a plain mirror, it will show you the truth. Even if you decorate it with a beautiful frame, which may distract you, but the mirror will still tell you the truth. It cannot tell you anything but the truth.
So what's the mirror here?
The fact is that the truth is the truth, but we don't always see it as the truth because our perceptions color what we see. We have impressions about people, they are always like this, or last time they behaved like this, or we have labeled them in a certain way. So all of these are actually things that cover the real truth. So in a particular experience, if I feel that I was wronged by somebody because they spoke in a certain way, or they didn't wish me, or whatever, in that particular experience, I could have been the one to blame, for example. For example, I see someone and I don't even make eye contact. I just look the other way. And later I say, you know, she greeted everyone, but she didn't look at me. So what did I do wrong? I'm not able to see. I may
Maybe
not
didn't
have
do
done
makeup. Maybe didn't do makeup well enough, you know. Didn't see it to the, what else to say? I don't know. Huh?
I mean, that was my understanding. I don't know actually what the real couplet means. This was
You're
my
right. You're right thinking, Ma. Yes.
okay.
Yeah, you're right in thinking that.
So we don't see the truth in an experience because we are only busy judging the other person, but we are never looking at our own self.
True, very true. As Mayama says, I think the life itself is a mirror, isn't it? Mm. Soumyama is asking a question. Mayama, anything to comment? Were you there yesterday?
Yes, I was there.
Yeah.
I was there. Yeah. I was just, I also had the same question as you, like, what is the mirror? But then I think if you're saying that there is something which is reflecting back the truth, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant, then what else can it be but life itself? So whatever act you commit, the beauty or ugliness of it comes to us in life itself. That is the karma which we are receiving. So the karma, whether something good or bad happens to you, that is the reflection of what you yourself have done.
Yeah. So then to that extent, as Sidhuji is saying, the world is a mirror, isn't it?
Yeah.
The world reflects whatever you do, you see it back, you know. Great, right. Thank you, Ma. So Soumyama is asking, two people have long years of misunderstanding. One person is willing to forgive, other person doesn't accept it. What to do? Is it due to the ego problem? In fact, the misunderstanding comes only because of an ego. It is never the clash of values or views. It's a clash of egos that create a conflict. It's obvious that two people would have different views. When you put two views against each other without egos, it is just what is best is always implemented because intention is for the larger good. But when two views along with egos come in, then the larger good is never in mind. It is my view. It has to happen the way I think. Doesn't matter anything happens elsewhere, but my view must be accepted. It's a bulldozing attitude. So a clash of egos. And it takes two to create a sound. So if I have to clap, I need to have two palms together to make a sound. If there's only one palm, there is no sound. So even if one person subdues his ego to a certain extent, to that extent, there will be far less misunderstanding and friction. But if somebody goes on and on and on, what I gather from your question is for a long time is happening, they should be sent to Italy. They have this bullfights, no? Is it they happen in Italy only, no? Spain. In Spain, they have these bullfights. Send them to a bullfight and put them in a ring and then fight it out. Yeah? And then everybody will come and watch them. It's an entertainment, free entertainment, people fighting. There's nothing else to do than get into that kind of a thing. And in the name of proving yourself right or wrong, there's so much disruption, there's so much hatred, there's so much damage it does. So it's the price of ego. That's all I would say. Big price of ego they're paying, and it is there on both sides. Okay. So there's no question of willing to forgive. Who are you to will or not to will? You better forgive and move on. If you don't forgive, you continue to fight until you reach your crematorium. You'll be fighting. I don't know whether it's worth living that life. Okay, right, ma. Sushma, you wanted to say something?
Guruji, I think Asha Ma and Tinky Ma have explained it very well. And before that, Ramji said something which was very useful to think about, actually. Very practical thing to do. So I think we should all follow all these things. I mean, just
Correct.
not hear it, but
Correct.
bring it into our life, into our actions.
Now, I was not wrong, Ramji, no? See, Sushma also is endorsing. Huh?
I think because they are all talking from experience also. And it all sounds very good.
Absolutely. It all has been, it's not just a bookish, it has a far greater relevance through experience and wisdom, no?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What actually mostly people do is the opposite. Not what Ramji has said. So it's a food for thought for all of us.
Absolutely. A food that can be digested, no?
Very well.
All right. Pushpama? Can you unmute, ma, please? Yeah. Yes, ma.
Lot of things happen before forgiving. Lot of things happen before forgiving. First, human mind misunderstands, or after understanding, again you will feel how I misunderstood the person. So like that, everything will be going on in the mind. Forgiving is the last thing, I think, after all the process. But that is also not permanent, I think. It is only temporary. But again, thoughts will come like that only. As Ramji yesterday was telling, we can forgive, but we can't forget. Like, so for that only, we need to practice more to forget.
Yes, ma. True. It's not easy. Many times, as you say, that people forgive after they pay the price. Okay. Right. Okay. Thank you, ma. Even Harishji has commented that we should take up seriously giving a platform to Ramji. This is what he said to me. I'll share it with you. He sent it personally to me. Saying, I feel forgetting my good acts and others' bad acts is very difficult to implement. So, in short, he's saying someone who lived that should become a guru, no? Ramji, sir. Okay.